Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. When AI art and AI chatbots first came out, it was a game changer that blew away many, and on the other hand, also a bane of existence for many professions. Similar to a child opening a box of toys, it was like magic. But once you educate yourself on the matter, you find that it's increasingly lacking. Still, it does have its uses and is pushing the boundaries of what we are capable of using it for. What is now lacking is rather how we perceive and handle this technology today. In the Star Wars universe, a galaxy where every living being is powered by an invisible force, it is somewhat surprising that few ever fully come to terms with it. As Han Solo puts it, hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster on your side. For the average living man, say on a backwater planet like Tatooine, even droids and automation have become a daily commodity in some capacity and have been for thousands of years. They could be used to complement the ungodly amount of slaves prevalent in those unregulated sectors of the galaxy. Of course, in the metropolitan planets like say Coruscant or Nashida, the presence of these automated resources are only amplified. But even the Empire knows that droids cannot fully replace the good old reliable slave labor to do their building of weapons and concentration camps. That's why they still enslave Wookiees in their layers even though there are plenty of droids. Droids have been around in the galaxy long enough that people have learned how to handle them. Their limitations. Frequent memory wipes to prevent droid behavior from growing erratic, and little standardization of droids for only specific builds for very niche use cases to prevent the centralization of intelligence from rising up against the meatbags who enslaved them. If you follow a lot about the narrative of AI, there seems to be this idea of artificial generative general intelligence, a big AI that can learn anything. The thing is, have we not learned from decades of sci-fi literature that this is a bad idea? Add to the fact that increasing the size of these models don't necessarily mean they add value. What's more practical is rather a series of smaller AI, each specialized in their own domain, and more importantly, having a human being in the loop to control the way these systems respond to edge cases. My point is, practical knowledge of these systems, knowing their strengths and their limitations, is what will lead to more progress in the future. Worshipping the AI gods will not bring anything to fruition. After all, technology is advanced to appear like magic, but it isn't magic. Worshipping AI gods isn't actually something foreign to the Star Wars universe either. In the Old Republic MMORPG, the pantheon of ancient Zakulan gods were actually based on super weapons, or rather super droids that an even older civilization left behind. The pantheon consisted of Isaac the Destroyer, Sylvia, along with 4 children, Typh, Avelia, Esne, and Nahut. These gods were worshipped by the ancient Zakulans and were immortalized in Zakulan folk songs. Though their prominence fell behind after Valkorion took over, and the Zakulan Empire that we saw in the game no longer held these beliefs in such high regard like the ancient people would do, only keeping them as figureheads, nothing more. It's undeniable that the ancient Zakulans did not know any better because they were after all less advanced and only saw this technology as gods rather than what they are, technology. Still, the modern society of Zaku worship technology in some capacity one way or another. Droids make the lives of many so convenient that the survival instinct of a social media teen is non-existent. We may not have a Typh or some ancient god to awe at his destructive power at this point. Perhaps in the way we live and the way we carry ourselves, the way we get hooked onto something, perhaps there is akin to worshipping that very thing. As technology grows and gets better, we must always be aware that we should not offload our intelligence, our own decision making, and our own brains to what is essentially a bunch of beats trained to mimic our own thought processes. AI is still in its infancy, as is our experience with it. But we have something that they don't. continuous life experiences and lessons. Things that you arbitrarily learn in hindsight and long-term memory and reiterative reflection. AI is able to replicate some of that, but not of it. Do not discount our humanity for some chatbot, my friends. And that's it for this video. And as always, if you would like to see more things related to Star Wars, the Old Republic, or artificial intelligence, do check out the rest of my channel. Cheers!